Evans in that second Wonder Woman movie. It was, but there's always
Yeah,
a big,
it was subpar, but
so far. The first one was good.
yes, I agree.
I like I said again, I not a big Ben Affleck fan of Dark Knight. I love Christian Bale. He was the better to me because what they did was they placed it within reality. Only thing, okay, people say, okay, Ben did the fight scene in the warehouse. That's one fight scene in the warehouse. You know, Christian, he had a fight scene in the warehouse, and he did he maybe didn't go guys with crazy stuff like that, but he did pretty good. But yeah, there's always a debate about Hollywood how they're not trying to push women. Like you saw the She-Hulk woman movie.
Mm-hmm.
I series. I didn't really watch it. Never watched the show. I don't have Netflix like that or whatever Disney Plus. But she looks more like a tall model than
Yeah, and again, they're beautiful women. I think that they're absolutely like the epitome of beauty, but they're not the Amazonian uh or Themysciran. They don't fit that profile. And
Mm-hmm.
it was kind of just disheartening because for somebody that is a true fan of all things Wonder Woman, I want, the CrossFit women like Brooke Ence and those secondary characters were bigger and more Wonder Woman-esque than the primary character was. And it was just kind of like, that's anticlimactic.
Yeah, because I know
I want to
Brooke
see her and I want her to just invoke this sense of power in me.
yeah, you're Wonder Woman. You should be Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's just Hollywood's not ready for. I know a lady who I become friendly with. She wanted to try to test out for some movies and stuff, but they say she's too muscular. She did Corey Everson. She did was in that Hercules series. She played Olympia. And she was one of the few women in bodybuilding. I remember there's a movie to sell. You had,
they're so few and far between because that image is something that in Hollywood they believe it's not going to sell. But I don't think it's ever truly been given the chance to.
Yeah, there was a lot of when I remember when Linda Hamilton did Terminator 2. She had it was like she had the big arms right there. She's buff. It's just always the big. I think men just don't feel comfortable with it, and most women don't feel comfortable with it. But
or they think that they don't, but secretly they do. It's like just get over your ego and just let it be. Embrace the fact that you're attracted to us.
And that's the same thing is about guys who do say it. Say, yeah, I think she's beautiful. Like I do a thing on my channel. If you watch my channel, it's called I do comparison videos. And every so often I do thing. I just finished one yesterday. It was a flex sex appeal where I take certain women who have very, very attractive like you. I think I might do one with you. I just got to put the pictures together. And I talk about not just their beauty, but also about themselves. Like I remember a while back when one lady who saw the video said, I liked your video because the fact was you didn't over sexualize it. You talked about the details of the muscles. You did talk about you say we were beautiful. I mean, I did one was it with Missy Trescott and Mina Folati from Finland, and they're both great muscle. I think I talk about Missy that Missy should go up to either figure or go to physique because when she's looking, she's getting really because the figure is supposed to be in the division that was supposed to be an offset from women's bodybuilding, but now I know they did the Arnold, and you heard that Arnold is a drop figure for next year.
And they don't have physique either.
Or women's
bodybuilding. I mean, but I don't think they've had women's bodybuilding for a while.
8 years. At least about 8 years.
Which I think is just, it's mind-numbing how Arnold cannot have women's bodybuilding. Like, of all the shows, it just does, it's nonsensical to me.
Well, you remember this, Miss International was before the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic. It was another name. It was called, I think it was the Columbus Sports Festival. And Arnold took it, he branded it.
You're correct.
And then he changed it to Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic. And Mr. International was around longer. But then after, I think those years when you had Linda Iris Kyle winning the Mr. International, and then that last year when they, as I like quote from one of my movies, Batman Begins, from when Liam Neeson played Ra's al Ghul, says he walked quietly behind the vision and stabbed in the heart. And then a year later, the Olympia did the same thing. But thanks to Jake Woods, he brought the show back. And from stuff I've been talking to people, because connection I made with some of you ladies and people I talked to, Arnold is, even though I loved Arnold. Arnold, I'm myself pumping Arnold. Arnold, like we talked that we was pumping. I talking to Lou. Oh Lou, your muscles too small. Oh Lou, and I watched Conan millions of times as kids. Like, question to me, see me ready for you. I'm gonna make the lamination of the women, and and then to hear this stuff about that he's an asshole. cheated on his wife, had a kid outside the relationship, and then it just kind of breaks my heart. So now, I'm a big fan of Vin Diesel because but
but I mean, they tell you not to like actually think of your idols that way because you're going to always be
disappointed,
heartbroken. You're going to be disappointed by the people you put on pedestals.
Yes, it's a hard thing about it, especially when you're a kid and you watch these people jumping through windows, punching camels, and
and you think that they're just these like superhuman gods, essentially.
Yeah, and they sit on Olympus. My man KL is saying also, what does it take to put your name out there? There's more if it makes sense. I would like to interview you. Yeah, he does content also, my man KL. And we talked about earlier how, yes, you do need social media. Because I talked to some ladies like, you got to be like, one lady who I talked to say, hey, so she's going to do her debut at the Olympia. I told her, well, you need to get on your social media. Because the fact is, this could be first Olympia. People don't know you. You really want to get on social media because you know what? This is how you get you get promoters. You get.
That's what I'm trying to do right now.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. You have to because that's the world about social media. When it came around, I think that was like in the 90s. I didn't have a computer in my house. And I think I had one when I got my first computer was like about 98, 97, and that's before you had dial-up. So sometimes I had to wait.
I still remember the AOL where it was like.
Then I get what's one speed, the one that was like you took up the phone, but you can speak the line and the phone at the same time. Well, I forgot that one.
Oh gosh, yeah,
I forgot about it. Yeah, I remember that. But yeah, it's just that the internet age has grown, and and that's one thing. Back in the day, like I saw a guy who does his name is Glenn and I, who hooked you up with, and he did an interview how he was talking about how back in the day you used to watch bodybuilding on television, not just the men, also the women, and ESPN,
I mean, it had so much more coverage, really.
Mm-hmm. And then now you can watch cornhole or play poker or video games. I mean, when they used to have women's world's strongest women, and they stopped showing that. It's just it's just crazy. My man KL is also, he says, I can't believe the guys make more than the women, but then again, back in the days, it was a popular ones, Arnold, Lou, and others. Yeah, and that's how it was. And still the women are struck. And this is also from KL. Brittany, you ever read the comics at times? Have you ever read comic books?
I do, and that's, I mean, back in the day, when I first became, I would say, for lack of a better word, obsessed with Wonder Woman, I was a bucktooth, braces, perm, overweight, playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons.
And reading comics, and I mean, that's where I fell in love with that look, and I didn't really know. I would have never expected myself to get into bodybuilding at that age, but now my goal is to literally embody Wonder Woman. Like, I want to manifest that look in real life, and I know I can. So that's my goal.
Well, I wish I could. I want to be Batman. Call me Bruce Wayne without $1 billion. I do. I have a collection of comic books. I remember my mom one time, she cleaned out my room and she put them in the storage closet. I have comic books. I have bodybuilding magazines. I used to collect them when I was a teenager. I mean, I love DC, love Marvel.
Yeah.
Most of my comic books is mostly Marvel, Superman, Batman, Justice League, The Flash. I got some more of my Marvel stuff is mostly X-Men and maybe a few Spider-Man stuff. I was more into X-Men than I was anything because I liked the storylines. My favorite was Wolverine. I put like Wolverine, Cable, Gambit, Cyclops, and Nightcrawler. And then we used to play. You remember there used to be an old X-Men video game. I used to always get Wolverine. Or I get Cyclops go whoop.
Oh, I would be in my mother's, because my mom was a teacher. So growing up, all the teachers' kids would play in the hallways, and I would always be Poison Ivy or Wonder Woman, or, depending on if I wanted to be the villain side or the hero side. But I was always a very strong, like, dominant female.
You ever try to be Catwoman?
Yeah, I played her a few times, but I don't know. She wasn't as, like, I really loved the
more physical women, like
the physical
Supergirl, Power Girl,
Yep. I wanted the feats of strength because that was me,
Yeah, you want to be the girly girl superhero. You want to be more like the
I wanted the power to equate the sex appeal.
Yeah, that's it. We got a man here, Devin, and Devin says Brittany is really beautiful. I like the speak decent as well. Decent actually turns me on. I don't like cheap and sleazy. It turns me off. And some guys like he's sleazy. So I mean,
Yeah, to
there's
each
been
their
plenty of
own.
girls
But
who kind of been a little
thank
cheap and
you,
sleazy.
Donovan.
Especially to him. My man KL, the Wanderer, we can't get no play from you guys, so that's why we can't put it out that too much. A lot of the you guys got boyfriends and you are married. And that's true because you
Yeah.
know, and also like I said, when bodybuilding, like a lot of bodybuilders, I used to remember in the early days, there was only a handful of women that had kids. People like Diane Dennis, Krista Bach, Yaxenia
Hmm.
King. There was a lady, Julie Miller, Vicky Gates. But in the last few years, there's a growing number of women who are in the sport, who have kids, who
Who
are
are, yeah.
married, have children.
Hmm.
I think I mean one year you had the Rising Phoenix. Half the women that competed in that show were mostly moms or
Uh-huh.
they're married. I mean, and you have
Well,
now.
and they're later in age, maybe not like older, but I mean, you're talking about the current Miss Olympia. Andrea is what, 39, 40?
She's gonna be 39 in a couple of weeks after the Olympia.
Okay, so that's my point though, is I'm 32. So you have these elite level Olympians that are predominantly in their late 30s, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a few here and there that are younger, but most of the time, those younger competitors do not have significant others or do not have kids or both. I mean, I do think that me having 3 kids does put me in I'm not going to say a more challenging position, but I mean, I don't have 8 hours out of the day to go and just dedicate at the gym. I've got to balance 3 kids and their extracurricular activities, my husband's fire schedule, and my schedule in order to get my training in.
Mm-hmm. I know Lady Denny. You know her. She has two
She is
kids.
one of my favorites,
Yeah,
and she's
I
in
used to
Texas
talk.
too.
Yeah, she's in Texas.
Yes,
Wow.
Irving, I think.
Yeah, because they posted to be bringing the show to Irvin, but then it was on the list because it was a list for women's bodybuilding for the 2023. But then
Uh-huh.
we did it. It's not there. I don't know what happened because
Yeah, I don't know.
they've been talking about bringing shows to Texas. There's a lot of shows for physique. You have the
Well, they need to. Texas, I would say, has one of the largest concentrations of competitors out there.
because I know there's a lady who lives in California and a lot of there's a lady who lives in Colorado. They said that we want to do more shows closer to the West
Mm-hmm.
because you only got the Arizona Pro, but that's more inclusive.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly ambassadors and whoever wins their qualification.
Yep.
Maybe they take a few here and there who but those ladies
Yeah,
don't
but if you
even.
think about it, most everything is what? The Chicago Pro, New York Pro, Tampa Pro. And it's like it'd be nice if we could shift a little bit of them this direction.
Because I know like California was a very big thing, but then the last few years California started pushing out women bodybuilding, and
Mm-hmm.
and now you have people like Mayla Ash who lives in Texas. A dear friend we talked about, Miss Brittany Brooks who lives in Texas. Mona Soleil just moved from Canada to Texas.
Yep.
It's a growing
I mean,
mecca of
there's a
Texas.
reason everything's bigger in Texas.
Yeah, everything's bigger in Texas, and Tampa and California. I mean, also you have to get Florida. A lot of bodybuilders in Florida. It's just other countries, like other states, like I know ladies who lives in Ohio, I know some ladies in New York, but the weather's also like it doesn't. It's more a little bit. You can like when you get like New York, like when it gets like I had a niece. She was in the military. She was stationed in Buffalo. She was like 5'4". She said when it gets snow like that, it went up almost to her chest.
Yeah, I was about to say, how could she make her way? She probably just would step out and just submerge.
Yeah,
I
and
mean, at least I've got I've got a couple more inches.
and I know was it a couple years ago we had that big snowstorm in Texas, and that was just awful. It's
Oh
like
God,
this. I remember this is I'm gonna quote my man again here, like when like this, like when snow was up north, no one blinks an eye, but it snows down south and it be only half inch. Everybody go crazy, because we down here in the south. It could snow half an inch and your milk and everything had to
oh
be bought out.
sure,
And up north, you say like, okay, it's only like 4 feet. That ain't nothing.
we're good.
Yeah,
Grab your
really good.
snowshoes.
You can go to work. If I see like snow, say, hell no, I'm not going there. Hey boss, no, I'm not coming in. It's 2 inches
sick.
out there. My car broke down.
Yeah.
My man KL also saying here is, I'm talking about guys who don't want to put out there they are female bodybuilder fans. And I can say that, you know, there's a guys who like,
Yeah.
you don't, you know, they want to be like, they want to be, hey, you want to be a can you love on the side, but you know, don't want anybody to know, like, you know, like, hey, like, you know, you walk, you like, you say, I don't know her, no. I say, hey man, it's that, you know, yeah, that's a hot buff chick you with. No, that's my, she's with my homeboy. He's just coming out. He's like,
yeah.
He said you should do cosplay. I don't know if ever thought that.
I have, and I'm
Oh.
desperate to do it. I want so badly to get like a movie level cosplay outfit and play that character. I think it would be
one thing. If I could do this, I would love to do this because, you know, especially with a lot of popularity cosplays, you know, stuff like that, and also a lot of these comic conventions. If I could, I would love to get some female bodybuilders, go to a thing, do cosplay, and do also set them up booths, get some women dressed them up like Wonder Woman, Black Canary, Supergirl.
Black Widow would be a really hot one.
You know what? I know one person could be the Great Power Girl, Alicia Young.
Oh my God! Yes, that would be perfect.
Alicia, you'd be like, guys be like, oh, we really like.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What did you say?
Yeah, like say, what are you looking at? You look at me in my eyes. Yeah, down there,
Okay.
you know. I mean, I was doing an interview. One lady, her name is Susan K, and we were talking. And Susan got, you know, I'm not a be all TV man, but sometimes you just like zoom.
I mean, you can't help it sometimes.
Yeah. If I'm like I said, most of the like I work at a booty club. I like a booty, but you know, sometimes like, you know, I'm not. A man KL says, yeah, I would like to be the super villain, but you married so. Say, everybody wants to be the villain. Sorry, man. Sorry, she's married, and I don't think her husband.
Don't worry, you're not the only one that's upset. Yeah. I'm married.
Yeah, so if you want another man, it'd be bigger you, but also be bigger me. So, but like I said, with the season about over, with your injury, you think are you planning to do any more shows next year, or you just, you know, let your injury just settle?
I'm actually completely rehabbed from my broken rib. I'm back in the gym. I did deadlifts the other day and hit 375. Bench press is I mean, all of my lifts are still relatively the same strength for my working sets. Endurance went down a little bit. I'm fatiguing a little bit faster right now, but after being off for over a month, it's to be expected. I'm getting back in the swing of things though. And we are set for spring or early summer. I'm thinking about even doing the Europa as kind of a touch-up show here in Dallas.
Well, I might have some advice for you. March 3rd, the On Switching Classic is bodybuilding.
Mm-hmm. So, and I looked at that. The only thing is, we don't know if that's going to give us enough time for the growth that we need.
Yeah.
Because I want to make sure that I do what is necessary to be undeniable, and I'm not gonna expedite the process. I want to do it right.
Well, you know, there also is another show that's a pro qualifier, and that's in Chicago, and that's the Miss International.
Mm-hmm. So, and I took screenshots of both of those shows that you're talking about, and I sent them to my coach with question marks because, I mean, we have to just see how it plays out. My body loves to grow, and it grows pretty quickly because I've got a mature muscle foundation. So if I'm ready, awesome. If I'm not stepping on stage unless I'm ready.
Yeah, I understand that because I know it's about the process. You don't want to go on there. I've seen some women who come on and, you know, they look great, they look amazing. Then I see them say, "Wait a minute, how come she won? She looks like shit." And you know, it's just how it is.
But I know what I want to look like, and I have the image in my mind, and so, and every time that I compete, I have that image and I visualize it until it's there. So I'm not gonna stop until I look like Wonder Woman.
Yeah, or look like She-Hulk. You know, She-Hulk smash.
Yeah, I have a teammate. She's She-Hulk, so we're kind of this.
What's your name?
Well, her name's Brittany. As funny as that is, she's just now starting out though. She has been a powerlifter for the last like decade or so, and I recently talked her into competing. So we'll see what the future holds.
Yeah, because powerlifting, I've seen there's a lot of women coming out powerlifting. There's a CC, what's it? I forget her last name.
Oh, yeah, big old CC. She's working with Shelby Starnes.
Yeah, and then also the lady who did it right back, her name was Rita West. She was a powerlifter. I think, you know, and also one legend who was a powerlifter was Bev Francis. You've seen those women
Yes.
transition from bodybuilding from pilot to bodybuilding, because the fact is one woman says that because the whole powerlifting gets the wear and tear on them because you got
Yeah,
all that heavy
and that's
lifting.
true. I mean, like I said, at 30 years old, I had a back surgery, and I don't think that it was necessarily completely caused by powerlifting, but I think that that was one of the factors that kind of just compounded.
Yeah, that's the thing is it's stressing the body. I used to, like I said, when I was in high school, I lifted weights. I was playing football. By the time I was 15, I was already pressing nearly 400 pounds, and then I was squatting like nearly 600. I remember guys saying, "Say George, man, you cock strong." I said, "What do you mean by cock strong?" I said, "You have any?" I said, "No." Then you cock strong. It's just
Oh
I'm
yeah, I mean, I can't tell you how many times somebody's like, "Oh yeah, you corn fed." I'm like, "Okay,
Yes. See, I
sure."
grew up. I grew up in the country. I was working in the fields by the time I was 19 years old. And,
Yeah.
my brothers used to work drive tractors. We grew out the country.
Hmm.
You
I
had
mean,
to work.
that was me growing up. My granddaddy had a ranch in Alvarado, which is just about 20 minutes away from here. And that was what we did. We'd go, he taught me how to shoe horses and bale hay and drive a tractor and ride horses. And so,
Mm, yeah, and like I said, your mom, you got all responsibilities like that. Your daughter, she's 16, and do you ever have somebody say, "What's your daughter's name?"
Kaylee Ray.
Kelly Way say, "Hey Kelly, you think I can, like boys think, you think I can come stay over your house? Say, hi Miss Parrish."
Yes. No, some of her friends are just absolutely hilarious. I mean, they get so weird when they come into the house and see me, and I think it's hilarious too. So I just play off of it and make them even more uncomfortable because it's fun.
Yeah.
Um, but one kid was like, I guess he's really into bodybuilding and bodybuilding women. And I heard him one day. I opened her door and I said, "Hey, dinner's about to be ready." And he goes, "Is that your mom?" And I was like, "Oh, here we go." And she goes, "Yeah, why?" And then I hear him go, "Do you think she would step on me?" And I was like, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What did you just say, young man? You're like 16."
Say, come back when you're 21, boy.
I was like, "I'm
Then
going to
I
get in
step
trouble for
out.
two things." Like,
Yeah. You don't want to end up like that. You want to say, "Hey, say, what you doing here?" I stepped out a kid. He was 16.
yeah, exactly. Like, how do you even explain that?
Yeah. It's just, I say, hey, like, hey, say, what you doing here? I show drugs. What you doing here? I beat up a cop. What you doing? I stepped out a 16-year-old boy. He said he wanted it, so I gave it to him. My man, KL, again, he's in love with you. My man, KLA. I said, it's all good. At least you got somebody. Yeah, that's it. And also he says, I don't like surgeries. At least one I did was 2015. Did not like
Mm.
it. My hernia. Yeah, and one thing about me is about I would say almost 10 years ago, I was working on my old job and I got sick. I didn't know. I thought because I used to work in cold storage in a meat packing plant. I thought I was having getting a cold, and I found out that I had a slight heart attack.
Oh God.
Yeah, I was just 30 then. I was 39. I was just maybe a few months away from my 40th birthday. Then I was put in an IC unit in Cape Fear Valley. It's one of the biggest hospitals around in my area. And I was there for about a week. Come to find out, I have congestive heart failure. It's in my family, it's my blood.
Oh no.
Bad habits, not healthy
VHF is
eating
not
like that.
good.
Yeah. And then I had to get a pacemaker, and I've been having this pacemaker for at least 8 years, and it has been helping me, saving me, keeping my life going. But one thing when my mom got sick because she had a series of strokes. She had a series of seizures and strokes. I was taking care of her. I was nearly 500 pounds. That's been almost 2 years ago.
My goodness. Yeah, that puts a lot of stress on your heart.
Yeah, and then when she, now I had no her to take care of anymore. I said, you know what? I don't got no kids. I got no woman. I just got me to take care of. I started working out. Then I went to gym, and then I'm under 400. I am 390,
That's great.
and it is tough. But it's like one thing is they be calling me, man. They be calling me, man. They be calling my name. Man. Sometimes I know I'm not a bodybuilder. I know I'm going to fall into my bad habits. That's the hard part about it. I do eat a little healthy. I tried. I don't like one thing was when me and my mom. One thing was breakfast. I cook her eggs, pancakes, and sausage. I eat eggs. I eat the pancakes and sausage. That was our time together. I do eat breakfast. I have my lunch. I have my dinner. Sometimes I might have a big lunch and don't eat nothing for the rest of the day. I might sneak snack, but I try to be smart. And when I do interviews and become these next year's ladies and watch your videos, you really inspire someone like me. Because I'm going to say I'm a muscle pro smoke. I'm going to admit it.